The biggest risk is not taking any risk. In a world that is changing really quickly, the only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is not taking risks. Move fast and break things. Unless you are breaking stuff, you are not moving fast enough. Think about what people are doing on Facebook today. They're keeping up with their friends and family, but they're also building an image and identity for themselves, which in a sense is their brand. They're connecting with the audience that they want to connect to. It's almost a disadvantage if you. Figuring out what the next big trend is tells us what we should focus on. I think a simple rule of business is, if you do the things that are easier first, then you can actually make a lot of progress. By giving people the power to share, we're making the world more transparent. A squirrel dying in front of your house may be more relevant to your interests right now than people dying in Africa. Once you have a product that you are happy with, you then need to centralize things to continue growth. When you give everyone a voice and give people power, the system usually ends up in a really good place. So, what we view our role as is giving people that power. If we're trying to build a world-class news feed and a world-class messaging product and a world-class search product and a world-class ad system and invent virtual reality and build drones, I can't write every line of code. I can't write any lines of code. Facebook was not originally created to be a company. It was built to accomplish a social mission to make the world more open and connected. The question isn't, what do we want to know about people? It's, what do people want to tell about themselves? Hackathons are these things where just all of the Facebook engineers get together and stay up all night building things. And I mean, usually at these hackathons, I code too, just alongside everyone. I just think that VR and AR are going to be a really big deal. You get a reputation for stability if you are stable for years. The thing that we are trying to do at Facebook is just help people connect and communicate more efficiently. It's really easy to have a nice philosophy about openness, but moving the world in that direction is a different thing. It requires both understanding where you want to go and being pragmatic about getting there. People don't care about what someone says about you in a movie or even what you say, right? They care about what you build. And if you can make something that makes people's life better, then that's something that's really good. Facebook is in a very different place than Apple, Google, Amazon, Samsung, and Microsoft. We are trying to build a community. Our mission is to connect every person in the world. You don't do that by having a service people pay for. Our goal is not to build a platform, it's to be across all of them. The companies that work are the ones that people really care about and have a vision for the world, so do something you like. The thing I really care about is the mission, making the world open. I don't have an alarm clock. If someone needs to wake me up, then I have my BlackBerry next to me. Advertising works most effectively when it's in line with what people are already trying to do. And people are trying to communicate in a certain way on Facebook. They share information with their friends. They learn about what their friends are doing, so there's really a whole new opportunity for. If you're always under the pressure of real identity, I think that is somewhat of a burden. There is a huge need and a huge opportunity to get everyone in the world connected, to give everyone a voice, and to help transform society for the future. The scale of the technology and infrastructure that must be built is unprecedented, and we believe this is the most important problem we can focus. I'm trying to make the world a more open place. When I was in college, I did a lot of stupid things, and I don't want to make an excuse for that. Some of the things that people accuse me of are true, some of them aren't. There are pranks, IMs. The only meat I eat is from animals I've killed myself. Our philosophy is that we care about people first. I feel like the thing we can do is celebrate people doing great work and create more cultural momentum and awareness that this is an important thing in the world. So when the next economic crisis hits and people are talking about where to cut from the budget, science isn't the thing. The biggest mistake we made as a company was betting too much on HTML5. I always tell people that you should only hire people to be on your team if you would work for them. When I started Facebook from my dorm room in 2004, the idea that my roommates and I talked about all the time was a world that was more open. There are different ways to do innovation. You can plant a lot of seeds, not be committed to any particular one of them, but just see what grows. And this really isn't how we've approached this. We go mission first, then focus on the pieces we need and go deep on them and be committed to them. I think we basically saw that the messaging space is bigger than we'd initially realized, and that the use cases that WhatsApp and Messenger have are more different than we had thought originally. Facebook is really about communicating and telling stories. We think that people can really help spread awareness of organ donation and that they want to participate in this to their friends, and that can be a big part of helping solve the crisis that's out there. I look at Google and think they have a strong academic culture, elegant solutions to complex problems. Move fast with stable infrastructure. I feel that the best companies are started not because the founder wanted a company, but because the founder wanted to change the world. If you decide you want to found a company, you maybe start to develop your first idea and hire lots of workers. Building a mission and building a business go hand in hand. The primary thing that excites me is the mission, but we have always had a healthy understanding that we need to do both. Our goal is to make it so there's as little friction as possible to having a social experience. My goal was never to make Facebook cool. I am not a cool person. Unless you are breaking stuff, you are not moving fast enough. All of my friends who have younger siblings who are going to college or high school, my number one piece of advice is, you should learn how to program. My goal was never to just create a company. A lot of people misinterpret that as if I don't care about revenue or profit or any of those things. But what not being just a company means to me is not being just that, building something that actually makes a really big change in the world. I care about helping to address these problems of social cohesion and understanding what economic problems people think exist. I think humans are just hardwired to process people's faces and understand meaning and expression at such a more granular level than other types of communication. I think that people just have this core desire to express who they are, and I think that's always existed. I started the site when I was 19. I didn't know much about business back then. When Facebook was getting started, nothing used real identity, everything was anonymous or pseudonymous, and I thought that real identity should play a bigger part than it did. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.